we're here at Data Center Transformation event, and I'm talking to Ruth from Lenovo. You're doing a workshop this afternoon, so it'd just be good to understand what you're planning to cover. I think what's driving demand in the data center, so just, if you can give us an overview.
Yes, so my intent is that we talk through the latest issues that we're seeing around people wanting more and more from their IT infrastructure. We're seeing a lot of transition within the industry and a transformation being pushed through to accommodate a lot more things like AI workloads and movement back from the cloud and various other things. So what I intend to do is cover what we're seeing and then work with the workshop attendees around what they're seeing in their environment, what they understand their compute strategy is, so we can then help people feedback on a wider area, and we can then collect the feedback at the end of it to help people understand and maybe position better with their management or their business around what strategies they need to do. Certainly we can't say that things like AI don't change, and isn't here to stay. It is. And what we're seeing now is that has a huge increase on power and cooling within data centers, and that really impacts the infrastructure that people provide and the way that we do it in what I would call a carbon sensible manner. Yeah.
And in terms of AI, I know in the short term there's all the large language models that are being trained up, if you like, so there's massive sort of workloads there. Longer term, will there still be a high level as sort of more AI apps are developed? And the large language models, presumably, obviously they'll be absorbing new information, but maybe not processing stuff. Just what's the landscape look like longer term?
What I'm seeing now is that AI is being developed that will assist lots and lots of different use cases. So large language models are only part of it. We're doing a lot of work on things like image analytics at the moment. We've just gone public with a project we're doing with Formula One, for instance, where we help them real-time process their image quality so they can broadcast live more content. That means they don't need to have thousands of different broadcast engineers. They can have one assisted by AI, which, if we train the model correctly, can be at least as accurate as that particular broadcast engineer can be. So what we're seeing now is this growth of AI as an assistance to various environments, because that image analytics can be used in a manufacturing environment for safety of images, so we can clean up in real time images, make it easier for people to do analytics processing and make decisions from that. But that's just one particular case about where AI is really useful. We're also seeing a huge growth in banks where they're using GPUs and wanting to push what we get from our infrastructure, and this unfortunately has the knock-on effect of how do we house this safely and where do we put that data, because where the data resides and the governance of where that data is not only affects the performance of it but regulatory issues like GDPR. So the fact that it may be more carbon friendly to put stuff in Iceland doesn't mean to say that that's what you want to do with your high important data that you need instantaneous access to run some very complex but business changing applications.
And I'm sure the workshop, as you said earlier, will kind of give you some feedback, but what's your sort of gut feeling, or anecdotally, what do you think? Do you think the industry is ready, understands fully the implications of AI, or your chuckle suggests that they perhaps don't realise what's going to hit them?
I think yes, but it's like people saying they're going to be carbon neutral in 2030. When you look at the detail behind it, it's not quite that simple. And a lot of people have underfunded what they do with local AI because, hey, everyone was going to cloud. Cloud was the answer to everything. And clearly cloud isn't the full answer. So from this point of view, it's about getting people to realign and understand that they have to be able to accommodate this, to be able to get, if they want the latest processors, if they want to be able to handle this, and generally anyway, improve what they're doing from a footprint perspective around anything in IT, they need to think through more complex ways of cooling than just simply air. Air's had a pretty good run, but it's really getting to its limit these days.
And maybe just finally, in terms of existing facilities to new, I mean, can AI be meaningfully accommodated in legacy, what we call legacy data centres, or some people explain you just have one cabinet in the middle of a huge room just because of the cooling, or do we need to build, what's the balance between the legacy?
It depends on how legacy some of these environments are. the challenge is doing it at scale. But what we can do, and what we are developing also, is little pods that we can drop in externally as well. So there's lots of different solutions around. All of them you need to work through, and I've spent a lot of time with people working through the implications on sustainability, but also the implications on their investment and how we can find something that gives them a return on investment behind it, and being able to articulate to their senior management, the people who make decisions about budgets, why certain investment in certain things are really important for them. So it's a combination of various things that we need to work with people to do. And sometimes what I find is that data center people are the least talked to about what's actually happening with the business and IT. It's such a shame that there's not more involvement, because the data center side now is so important that is taken into the IT strategy, that people understand that side.
Okay, well, it's been great to chat to you, and
Thank you
hope
very
the
much.
workshop goes well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.